Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to The Last Mile, episode 16. You guys, today's gonna be short and sweet. We're gonna keep it short and sweet, but I want to talk to you guys real quick before I even go any further. Next week, have a guest coming on. And I've had him on before, but I have the CEO and founder of Metrobi. Metrobi, the CEO and founder of Metrobi, will be on the Last Mile next week. So next Wednesday, join us for that. And then the second week in the second Wednesday of September, we have the CEO of Bungie. That's right. Two big CEOs, two big companies. But today, we're going to keep it short and sweet. And I'll tell you guys why here real quick too, because I want to give it some plugs real quick. Obviously, GigCon's coming up. Smack a like when you're coming in here, please, guys. Appreciate that. But GigCon is coming up on August 4th, Friday, here in Denver. And then on August 5th, we have the town hall. Maybe I can put the link into the show notes here in a couple minutes or into the live chat. So you guys can sign up. If not, if you're watching this on the replay, I'll put it into the comments. I'll pin it in the comments. The link to sign up for the town hall coming up on August 5th. By the way, I just got off the phone with Alice in charge of growth and marketing at Curri, and she will be at the event. I've been telling you guys they will be there. She will be there, and she'll be giving out some stuff too. She's got some stuff that she actually got for you guys, and so make sure you stop on by and say hi to Alice while you're at the event. And if you don't know, come by and find me, and I'll introduce you, and you guys should know her. But yeah, that said, I want to talk about some Curri things today. And again, we're gonna keep it short and sweet because not only is that event coming up, and man, is that it's taking up a lot of my time, you guys, but Gary and his wife, the Middletons, are here in town. They're out doing stuff right now, and I got some meetings coming up, and it's just craziness until this event happens. But the show must go on, no excuses. And so I was like, because this next week, Metrobi, that's going to be really cool, especially with Metrobi in my market now. I am going to be staring at this thing early next week until the Last Mile to see if please I get a Metrobi order, because I'd like to have one before I have the CEO on. Again, we've had him on, and in fact, I didn't interview him personally. I mean, I did, but you guys know most of the CEO type interviews that I do one-on-one. This one we did on the round table. We had him on the round table. It was actually a pretty informative episode too. So check that out. But yeah, he's going to be on, and I would like to take one so that I have something to say about it, for sure. But yeah. So a couple things that we're going to talk about today it basically is the Curri app update, because again, Gary Middleton's here in town, and this morning I did a handful of Curries, and then when I got back here, Gary and Donna were getting up and stuff, and we were looking at our phones next to each other. And I have an iPhone and Gary has an Android. Also, I've done a lot more Curri orders than Gary, so there's a couple of reasons why I might see more, but we had them side by side, and I'll get to the Android portion in just a second. But he wasn't getting the orders I was. Who else was it? Josh B had pointed out that in Philadelphia, he was getting the same orders as Red, but Red was seeing him at a different price. And now Red's new to the platform in Philly. So I want to know about that, because that's a different scenario altogether. I don't know why Josh would be seeing an order for an amount and Red would be seeing it for a different amount. That's weird to me. But that could have, I don't know if Red was using an Android at the time and an iPhone. And that's pretty much what we're going to get to here today is that's going to be the topic. And like I said, then we're going to cut it short because I have a lot of meetings going on constant at this time. So when Gary and I were looking though, I was like, when I was out doing the Curries this morning, I was like, Gary, right now in the queue, because he said, before he got here, he had said, when I get there, I want to see all these Curri orders. So like I was out doing Curri and I'm like, right now in the queue, do you see 5, 6 orders, whatever it was at the time? And he's like, I see 1. So he's in Denver. He saw 1, but he wasn't seeing the 5 or 6. he was, and then when I got back and showed him the ones I did, I was taking screenshots of everything. Um, so part of it's probably that, look, when you're new to Curry, I think we all know this. It you got to get one under your belt or two under your belt before they really, almost like before they take you seriously, And to me, it kind of makes sense. I mean, really, like I wouldn't want DoorDash to do it, or like an app like that, because those type of apps, their purpose is to oversaturate markets. So in that case, whatever. That's how they feel about their drivers. That's how they feel about their clients. So why should I feel any differently as the driver about the actual company? Whatever. That's how they treat everything. So, and it's not a bad, it's not good, but I'm not saying it in a bad or good way. But I think with Curry, because people are paying more and because they do onboard in a slower process and make sure they have a supply demand that matches each other instead of just so much oversaturation that it's not even worth it for the drivers to even be checking. Um, but one of the coolest things about Curry is that, and this again is going to be as an iPhone user, you guys, but is that I don't have to run the app. I am not a fan of leaving location services always on. In fact, when I say not a fan, I am completely against it. I hate that. I hate, and it's not even that it uses my battery. I just don't believe in any. I mean, look, some apps you pay for, and the full paid version takes away ads and things like that. That's fine. There's the Para app, there's Gary'sApps.com. Those are totally different too. What I'm talking about is there's a lot of apps you download, and you guys know what I'm talking about. They got, you know, a third of the screen is like advertising for other apps and things like that. Okay, well maybe it's even just a game that you play on downtime, some stupid, I don't know, whatever game you might play, and it's always running a banner ad. Okay, I get that, but um so when I'm looking when I don't want that on anything though. I don't want my location services on. My setting is I need to look at the app. First of all, does the app, because usually there's three choices. One is never, one is usually while using the app, and one is always on. So I which one do I prefer? Never. I didn't want you look, if it's something that you don't need my location services on, I don't want to give it to you. I think that there's enough. Not only is there enough app data out there on all of us, and it's we just need to accept and recognize it, guys, because there's really nothing to be done about this one. And you know me, I'll take on a good fight, like what we're gonna do August 5th, but at the town hall. But this one, like, there is data sharing between these apps. So, a lot. I mean, Curry doesn't do it, but I mean, like, we know the big guys do. Like, let's just talk rideshare. Uber and Lyft share data all the time. And if you guys aren't aware of that, they do. So, like, if you drive on Uber and you think, well, they don't have my information over at Lyft, yeah, they do. They got everything, because if there's ever an issue at all, like you get deactivated for even if you didn't do it, like a sexual assault charge or something like that, Uber immediately sends that information over to Lyft. So, like, if you're working on Uber, be and something like that happens and you're like, I know what happened, but that's not what it was, and you're going to be fighting it and battling it, and even if you win and get reactivated on the platform, and that's what I hope for you if you didn't commit the crime. But here's what happens in the meantime. As soon as an accuser makes that accusation, Uber or Lyft respectively sends to the other rideshare company, here's what happened on our platform, and they will lock you down too. So it's not like, oh, that charge that girl's filing on me on Uber, I'll just drive Lyft. You might get away with it for a day, maybe two, but as soon as the AI catches you, or if it's something serious, it would be within probably minutes. You're gonna be temporarily deactivated from the other one too. Um, I'm gonna be on Legal Rideshare's weekly podcast this week. For those of you not familiar that they do one, I don't know if it's live. We record it, but we record it Friday morning, and it's a half hour. It's every Friday. I don't know when it drops, but it's at Legal Rideshare's YouTube channel. And Bryant Greening, who's a friend of mine and who I have a lot of respect for, because Um, he's been doing this looking out for gig workers for longer than a lot of these attorneys who are popping up. And I know Bryant on more of a personal level than so much lawyer or whatever, but I've referred a lot of people over to Brian too. He'll always give you the time, but we're going to be talking on there about a lot of this stuff. Data sharing, all this kind of stuff. So, and if you have questions that you want me to ask, I made a community post about that thing on Friday. Put them in there and I'd love to ask them for you. So so here's the thing. Um, Gary's here. We pulled his up and he's not seeing the offers I am. Now, here's one thing that we know is going on. Curri is aware of it. Curri is working on it. And again, this is why I respect Curri as a company. It's another reason. I mean, I've given you guys more than enough transparency, 100% transparency before you accept where you're going, where you're dropping off, how much it pays, blah blah blah, how many minutes from the pickup I mean, like everything you'd want, and a map, everything. So if you can, that's all I'll ever ask for, because if you show me total transparency and every trip pays 1 penny, I just won't take any. And after a certain point, I'll just go forget it. But that's all I can ask of you. I don't want to be the guy that's telling you, you need to pay me this much to do this work. No, that's not my place. It's not my business. If they want to charge, if they want to like put out an offer for a penny to do, what I would consider $30 worth of work, and then there's not a chance I'm taking it, and somebody else takes it, well, I mean, if somebody else can do that for a while, great. It's not going to be a sustainable platform. It's not going to work. But I mean, like, I believe that once transparency is there, that's when you're either making good or bad decisions. And at that point, a business has every in this country, a business has every right to operate how they want to. Let's be honest. But I do believe you have to be above the boards. We got to be transparent about it. Curry's completely transparent. But here's one thing that's going on. And like I said, really going to keep this short and sweet. It will be under a half hour today. I'm going to talk about this and I'll get to the chat here for a second. But here's the thing. So with the Android right now, when I did ask Gary if he was seeing the offers, like, okay, so let's go back to always on. Never, while using the app, always on. With Curry, I leave it always on because I can't imagine not, because I don't leave the Curry app open ever during the day. Like, even when I complete a Curry, I close it immediately. I hit complete and I close it because I have location services always on, and I have my Curri Driver set to active at all times. So even if something comes through in the middle of the night, and again, it's not DoorDash or Uber looking to get me to do a $3 delivery or a $2.50 delivery or an $8 rideshare ride. These Anything that I've ever seen come through in the night is multi hundreds of dollars, and it's usually not local. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I've been on the platform 2 years. I am one of the most active drivers in Denver on it. And to be honest, I've probably in 2 years seen maybe 10 come through after 11 p.m. and before 5 a.m. And all of those have always been crazy good offers if you're willing to do the long haul. So the problem right now for Android users, though, is that the Android, even if you have the settings set how I set them and how you should have them set if you want to be successful on Curry, you will not get a drop down alert on Android. Android orders seem to batch through a little behind iPhone. And Tim Gigwise in St. Louis, for those of you that haven't checked out Gigwise, check out his channel. Tim's a great guy. But Tim is kind of Tim was on Curry about a year ago. He never got any orders, and he didn't. If you don't take one for 90 days or whatever it is, you get deactivated. But it's called a soft deactivation. All you have to do is email reactivation at curry.com. They'll put you right back on. They just don't want to waste data. I've talked about this before. I've said, isn't it wasting data to just send it out to everybody if somebody for a year doesn't take an offer? Of course it is. I mean, let's not even debate that one. Of course it is. I mean, there's a cost behind everything that's done. I mean, So of course, I mean, it's nominal when you have enough people doing things that you could probably, like DoorDash and stuff can get away with it because they work on such a millions of orders, that it's like, who cares about it? But really, at some point, that's the kind of cost cutting they need to get in there and do too. And I'm not saying that DoorDash needs to become any stricter by any means. I'm just saying they need to become more tailored, refined. But on like Gary's apps and on Gary's apps, on Gary's phone and on Tim's phone, who both run Androids, and on Jesse's phone, who works for Curry and is very aware of this problem because I put him in touch with Tim a few weeks ago. So Jesse's very aware, and Jesse came over from JB Hunt trucking. So if you guys have ever seen the 18-wheeler JB Hunts on the road when you're on the highway, he was one of their logistical, I guess it would be logistical operations people, one of the higher ups. So there now he only works for Curry, and he's brought that knowledge over to here. He runs on an Android too, and he has seen this problem. He's aware of it. The team is aware of it. They need to get it fixed. They are working on it. I know that he has talked to Tim a couple times since I've introduced them, Tim in St. Louis, and I need to get him to talk to Gary too, because I feel like I introduced them and they were maybe gonna talk, but I don't know if I can't remember if they ever did or not, or if they did, it was something brief. But now I don't know that I actually texted Tim or Jesse just a little bit ago before I started this, that Gary was here, and I told him in the text some of the same things I'm talking about here, that he should talk with Gary because Gary's an Android expert, and not that not that Jesse's not, but Gary does know this stuff. I mean, like, I'm always of the impression that, look, even if Jesse knows, like, is I know what I'm doing, and Gary's like, I know what I'm doing, and they both do, still the two of them talking could be a major help to Curry. It could. You never know. I mean, like, maybe they both do know the same amount of stuff. The bottom line is, though, the two of them talking might get, oh, wow, totally overlooked that or whatever. I don't know. That's not my space. But regardless, I already knew about it from Tim. I did not know about it until I heard about it from Tim and then I saw Red having challenges with it, and Red went out and got an iPhone, and that was not my suggestion because I would say wait till Curry gets it fixed. Again, Curry's aware of it, guys, and they're not like going, well, let's just let the iPhone people have it. Not at all. They really want to get this fixed. This isn't like they unlike the other gig app companies, Curry makes a profit and they do pretty well. So like they're not like, we don't care. They're not like DoorDash or Grubhub or, Uber Eats or Lyft. Like they're not like, we don't care about the customers or the clients. Don't care about anybody. We don't even care about people. That's not like that. Like they actually care a lot. And so they do want to get this fixed. I would like to see them get it fixed. I did my point of today is I did want to make any of you using Android on Curry aware that there potentially is an issue, but the team is aware of it, and yes, they are working on it to get it fixed ASAP. I don't know, again, not my space on how long it would take or what the problem is. All I would like to do is see it get fixed fast. But yes, it was kind of like a domino effect. I told, Tim's like, I got reactivated after you told me to email reactivation at Curry. They reactivated me in 2 days. So again, guys, if you've been hearing me say that and you're like, I'm not going to do that. I've emailed Curry before and they never email me back. Reactivation at curry.com. If you got soft deactivated, if you were on the platform and you did not take a Curry for 90 days, and then all of a sudden you opened it and you're like, wait, I'm deactivated. It's a soft deactivation. They just don't want to be wasting money sending you data because as far as they're concerned, you're not even doing this work anymore after 3 months if you're not taking any. So they're like, well, why send data to them? I happen to believe that, like, let's kind of put that into perspective for a quick minute. Like Tony Shu, over at DoorDash, when he did his interview with Harry just recently, he said there was 13 million dashers in this country. Now, I would hard question a lot of things there. How many of those 13 million have done one dash in the last 90 days? Like, let's put them under the Curry umbrella for a minute. Because like Curry would say, if you haven't done it, like, you haven't done a Curri in 90 days, we're just going to soft deactivate you. All you have to do is email us and let us know, no, I'm still here and I'd like to take some orders. And you don't even have to wait in line. They just reactivate you. Boom, done. Okay, there you go. And then 90 days later, if you don't take another one, they'll soft deactivate you again. And you can get it. I actually know somebody who's had to do it 3 times, had to be reactivated 3 times. And every time it didn't take longer than 72 business hours. So it's not, I know that a lot of people emailed Curri. However, it's not that big of an issue. The reactivation part, if you've already been activated, all you got to do is let them know you're still interested. They'll just put you back on. The other thing real quick that I wanted to address before chat was that, okay, so the waiting list. So I think I talked about it last week, and I might have even got to this point, but now that I talked to Alice as well now, just to get the clarification, because again, I was sure there was a reason. So it is, here's the factors that determine the waiting list. Because if like person A goes on the waiting list on today, July 26th, and person B goes on August 26th, and on September 1st, they bring on person B, who 5 days earlier went on the waiting list. And person A says, wait a minute, we're both in Denver. Why did he get off before me? So it goes vehicle or demand first, or demand in your specific zone, which is a zip code, and then vehicle size, and then your proximity to the new client or clients in that zip code. So if you know Denver is in the middle, and then it has like, it's got Westminster, Arvada, Golden, Commerce City, Aurora, Parker, Northglenn, all around it, right? So all of us that live in any of those, like Tony lives in Parker. That's the Driven Dad and Driven Mom. Those guys live in Parker. That's pretty South Denver, but they still might, if they were on the phone with somebody, where's your market? They'd probably say Denver. And I'm going to say Parker, Colorado. So they're probably going to say Denver. So Tony's a good example because he's still on the waiting list. Now, 2 people that we know, Tony's been on the waiting list for about a year. And 2 people that we know for certain had only been on the waiting list 2 to 3 months. 2 different people were both brought on about a week or 2 ago, maybe 3. But here's the thing. Both of those people, one of them lives in Wheat Ridge, one of them lives in Golden. And the new accounts that have been popping up are Broomfield, Wheat Ridge, Golden. So of course they brought them on first. Again, they will skip the line because they want the people who live closest to the new clients. That makes sense. I just needed it to make sense. I need it to make sense to you guys. If it doesn't, if you think that's unfair, sorry, nothing I can do about that. That's how it works. And I actually do believe it's fair, because if I ran a company, that's how I would run it too. I'm not going to take somebody off the waiting list who lives 30 miles away from a new client that I got, where I've got another driver on the waiting list who lives 1 mile away. I'm going to want the 1 mile away driver quicker on it. And I know, it gets to a point where it's like, yeah, but I'm on that waiting list. As soon as they land 1 or 2 more Parker accounts, Tony will be first off. That's kind of something I clarified with her, and she looked for me and she's like, oh yeah, as soon as we do something in Parker Bank, I can see he'll come right off. But Tony will also have the chance to meet Alice in person next Saturday, August 5th at the town hall. So don't miss that, you guys. If you're coming here for GigCon, for GigCon on the 4th, do not leave without coming just 2 miles away from where GigCon is on Friday. Just 2 miles away. From 12 to 2, lunchtime. We'll feed you. Come on by and join the town hall. You can come and listen. You don't have to speak. You can come and watch. But we're going to have legislators there. We're going to be talking about some laws. And we're going to be talking in that it's a 2-hour period that we'll have a hard stop. And afterward, it's going to be like a meet and greet, too. If you want to hang around, talk with creators, talk with politicians, talk with company moves, Solo, Curri, Para, Gary Zapps. Who knows who else is going to be there? I'm constantly bringing in other people. So we'll see. We'll see who all is going to be there. But those I know will be there. Let me run over to the chat here real quick because I do have to wrap this up because I have a 2:00 meeting. But I see I got a little fluff time, so let me see what's going on. What's up? What's up, Chris? What's up, Marissa? What's up, Tony Driven Dad? I was just talking about you. Clearly, you probably know that unless you left. What's up, Kevin Hawthorne? What's up, Flower? How are you? Hi, Kevin. What's up, Xander? Bud Soda, what's happening? Gary Middleton, why are you in this chat? Almost all of this stream is almost every other sentence is involved Gary and and Android. That's awesome. So Gary, right now, if you guys aren't aware, Gary and Donna are here in town because we are during all this chaos. That's why everything's so chaotic too. It's all about getting ready for next weekend, but at the same time, we're taking a little pause here because Gary's birthday and Gary and Donna's anniversary is coming up over the next few days, and we're all trying to get out of town just to go wrestle some bears and fight some mountain lions and see what happens. I'm going to take Gary out for his first mountain lion wrestling match. See how he does. But yeah, so Gary, why are you in here? Gary, by the way, is I believe that they're still at the museum. We have an amazing museum here in Denver. I'll give it a plug. Why not? It's the Natural History Museum here in Colorado, the Science and Natural History. It's an amazing museum, you guys. And just it's a very cool place to go. It's not even just like, oh, it's cool to take your kids to. Of course it is, but it's really cool for adults too. And same with Meow Wolf. I'm going to just give those two plugs out. If you are going to be in Denver for these events and you have not been to Denver before, those are two places you might want to take in, especially with the extreme heat right now and that both are air conditioned. But Gary, get out of my chat. You should be walking around the museum. Go find the woolly mammoths. See what you think. Kevin, nothing on Paraworks today. Let me see, where else was I at? Mr. DSN, Derek, are you coming to the Derek? You should. I know you've emailed me, I believe, in the past, but if you could email me, you can email Steve at ridesharerodeo.com. You know what? Actually, email Steve at withpara.com. Because I'm putting together a guest list right now, and I'll send you the link where it will go public. It is public some places right now anyway, but it will be on every social starting Monday. I will put it public for everybody to sign up. I'm just trying to get the invite people down first, but we put that together, and I think it's functioning pretty good. We have a good list so far. We know a handful that are coming. But Derek, if you could email me either of those, you could do Steve at ridesharerodeo2.com if you want. What's up, Gigan? How are you, man? Late as always. You're never late, man. You're perfectly late. I'm at a loss for words here right now. No, I mean, you always make it, man. So I don't know. Some people tell me that literally, and I know sometimes people just don't know, like they're not fully in touch with setting alerts and stuff too, but some people have told me they've literally gone into their YouTube and like gone to my page because they're subscribed and said alerts on all, and there's none, all personalized. I mean, they've moved it to all because they're not seeing any, and they said even on all they're not, so they've moved it to none and then unsubscribed and then resubscribed and moved it to all. Like, I've had people try these tricks, and for some reason there are some people who just don't get alerts when I go live. I don't know why. I don't believe that's a phone thing. I just, for whatever reason. I know that it happens to other people too. I have no idea why that happens. Josh, what's up? Gary smacks Steve. I'll send you $10. Steve, when I come to Colorado, just take me to the Rockies game in a weed shop. Well, there's about 15 weed shops in walkable distance from my house, bro. So like, Colorado is in. I mean, there's 10 weeds shops within 1 mile of the Rockies stadium. Probably 20. Not kidding. You can walk out any gate in any direction and you'll hit one within a block. So, and yeah, it just has to be a Rockies game I care about, Josh, because I bartended across the street for years. And I'm not a big Rockies fan. I love baseball too. Like as a sport, I love baseball, not just my teams. And so a lot of sports, you like your team. But I do love baseball, so you'd think I'd like the Rockies. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's probably because I've seen more Rockies games, even close to the amount of home Detroit games I've seen, because when I was bartending down there for 6 years, I'd go for like partials too. We'd have people who had they had 4 tickets and 2 or 1 or 3 of the people didn't show up and they just leave it at the bar and say, give these away. If nobody took them, like around the second, third inning, we'd let a couple bartenders go for, till about the 7th. And then they'd come out and we'd say be back by the end of the 7th. So that when the crowds came out, but it made it so I got to see like every team in baseball as they came through this stadium. So the stadium's amazing here. I just like going to watch good teams when they come here. I don't like going to Rockies games. I don't like going Los Angeles, the Dodgers. I'm not a fan of the Dodgers at all, but they're a great team, right? They do very well. So, but that's interleague. I hate, like, that's an all-time hate for me. I hate going to see like the Dodgers and Rockies play. I've seen more of those games than anything because they're in the same division. With baseball switching up, that's getting a little lucky because we don't have to see as many interdivision games. We're going to see a lot more teams playing each other, but nonetheless, I've seen tons at that stadium. I love the stadium. Don't really like the Rockies. Love the Tigers. That's my team, but I also like a lot of teams. Um, okay, we'll read through the comments in 1 second. But don't forget, next week we've had him on. I've had him on one other time. CEO of Metrobi on the last mile, and second Wednesday of September, the CEO, first time appearance from Bungie on the last mile. Also, wait, you guys, I want to give a quick shout out to something that isn't showing very well. Display red. I was recently talking to Abdul. See my finger going through that? Display red. I was recently talking to Abdul. I did an interview with him. If you haven't seen it, go check it out on the Para channel. Or you can check it out on the audio podcast. Really doing some cool stuff that they were already doing, but they've advanced it a lot farther now. And so go check it out. Really good stuff they're doing. But if you guys are on the way, if you guys have any Curri questions, please feel free to email me, steve@ridesharerodeo.com. And then I might start trying to get together an email that I craft on Sunday, or that I craft on Saturday, and get sent out on Saturday to Curri, to the people I know at Curri, with any questions that I get during the week. I won't bombard them, but if I get 10 questions and I already know the answer to 7, I'll respond to you and just say, "Oh, well, that's this," because a lot of the answers I do know. But if I don't know for certain at all, and there's 3 questions, I will make sure to get those 3 questions to the Curri team and hopefully always have a response here on the last mile that following Wednesday, whether we're talking Curri or not. I'll always make time for a little segment of Q&A. So if you guys have Curri specific questions, I have ties with other companies, but not as direct as with Curri. And you guys know how much I love and work Curri. So if you have Curri questions, send them to me. Also, again, guys, if you want to come meet Alice in person, I just talked to her today we did a Google Meet right before this, and she is bringing a lot of nice giveaway stuff. I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give away the giveaway. I don't want to give away the giveaways. No, but like, seriously, she's bringing shirts, hats, pens, things for the car. Like, I was really surprised. She's bringing a decent amount of stuff. I was really happy. So if you are coming, not only will you get some free curry swag, it seems like, you'll also get to sit down and we'll get Alice a little two top at the event. And she's going to also be saying some words. I have her as one of my speakers that it's going to be doing a 3 to 4 minute piece in the beginning. So the layout will be, in the beginning, where there's going to be a few people talking to get it rolling, and then I have people segmenting us between each section, and then each section will just be open forum, uh, town hall. Somebody says something, somebody can raise their hand and reply. I'll bring them over the mic. Bring you the mic. I'll bring you the mic. So we're gonna have a real discussion in there. But I do have people who are gonna segment us from one to the next. Uh, what else do we got? Let me just roll through here and see. Good afternoon, Steve. What's up? There is a new screen now. I don't like it much. This is Driving with Chris. Why don't you like? You mean the update from yesterday? Why don't you like it? My kinks with it. Okay, so again, I addressed the Android issue that I knew existed before the update today. What I've already talked about with the Android issue with alerts and stuff, again, the team is working on, but that's before the update. But I just need to make that clear. That was not caused by yesterday's update. That was already happening. They're aware of it. They're working on it. The update went across both platforms, or both devices, both operating systems. And what don't you like about it, man? It's always a little different, but I like it. It's clean. And one thing I do like about it, I got to say, is that they've removed the "I'm interested," because let's face it, I can speak I can speak directly to you guys. I've done more Curry drive right I've done more Curry deliveries than anybody watching this video. So, I'm glad "I'm interested" is gone, because like, when an offer first comes through and it hasn't been claimed yet, great. But once it has the it had the big yellow "claimed" across the top, and you could still go into it and see it and go, "Oh," and it was like from an hour ago, and you hit "I'm interested," most likely that's being picked up at that time, or it was picked up 10 minutes ago. So I'm all good with keeping the queue clear, because again, it depends on where you live. Maybe you only see one or two a day and you want to see which ones you missed while you were working some other apps. Okay, but they're removing them from the queue once they're gone, which makes sense to keep it clean. And here in Denver, especially in the mornings, like, I'm looking at, 3, 5, 7 at times. So I want the ones cleared out, because they go up in increments of money, and I might have already looked at it and said, "Yeah, I know that one. When that one gets to this amount, I'll take it," or "I'm not close enough to that one." So when something's gone, remove it out of my sight, because otherwise I'm still processing that as a maybe, or maybe I'll be out that way by the time it gets. If it's gone, it's gone. Just remove it. I don't want to see it. And as far as the layout, um, I was just looking at it today because I did some this morning, but I saw it yesterday too. I, I don't know. I feel like I liked it. Here's the thing. I don't think I've ever been the biggest fan of the interface. Like, I've always known it could be a little cleaner. There's nothing wrong with it. It's always been functional and it works great. Um, but it's never been like perfection. Most apps aren't. But like, I like the new like, I like the new interface. I like the, you know, here I'm showing you guys that at the bottom it says "claim delivery." But okay, so I'll let you know. So this is one that, okay, if you guys notice, see the banner at the top where it says next driver notified in 22 seconds? That is something that comes with having a good Curry track record, or a Curry track record, period. Like, if you're onboarded, have you done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Curries? Or have you onboarded and they've sent you some offers and you haven't done one yet? Because you're not going to get the ones that, or if you do, it's because nobody else is in your area to take it, and they're really trying to get it out. But again, I believe Curry wants you to get one or two under your belt that they believe, oh, this is an easy one. Let's give them this one. They want you to grab, even if it's not close to you and you're like, that's not a lot of money. My guess is those ones that you first see when you come on your first onboarding are actually really good off, or are probably not the best offers, but it's going to be like one box. It's not going to, it's every time it's not like 200, 500, 700 pounds of paint. Like you hear Josh, me, or Brian have it your way, or all of us talking about on here. It, it's not like that. It's not like every order's paint. And I've told you guys, most of them for me, most of the time are, but right now in the summer, I'm seeing a lot more, like I'm doing a lot more plumbing. I'm doing, and I'm doing plumbing for Ferguson Plumbing, which is a nationwide account. Most of you guys have on Curry have probably seen it because it's in every state. But Ferguson Plumbing now has like sub locations. So they have like their big one out on the toll road. We're all, it's like a 30 bay truck. But like then they have these little stations, kind of like Sherman Williams, but then they have like a new one that's really close to my son's high school that has like 6 loading bays, and it's for Ferguson Plumbing. So that I'm really glad they opened. So now I get those too, and I've been doing a lot of that. So, and there's more. US Electric, we have the new HVAC app is exclusive with Curry. There's new clients coming on. I will tell you guys this, and I think Josh is in here, right? Still. Oh, and hi, Flower. If I didn't say hi to you, hi, Flower. Um, but so Josh, yeah, remove that crap out of my site. Exactly, Josh. And I don't care. Like, so even if I was in a slower market, I would still want it cleared out. Don't have something in there that I can't take. You know what I mean? And I guess let me just finish off that I'm interested. It should have explained itself, but like if somebody's taken it and I hit I'm interested, it's never really helped me. Because again, if I hit I'm interested, now I'm closing the app because I let my app, it's one of the only apps I let have the ability to access my location services all the time. So I don't care. I allow it to do that because I know that's how you get orders on Curry, the good ones, and how you really can do good. So I allow it to do that. Um, but I'm as soon as I'm done in the app, it's closed because I know when an order comes through, the banner comes down. So, and to be honest, I have had the app open and I've had it open on the screen that so if you go to, I've had it open on the request screen. So you click the three the menu, and you go to requests, and that's where you'd find them when you open the app, how many are there. But I've sat there if I missed something, or if I think something's going to go up, and I've seen the banner alert come down before it refreshes in the app. Now there is a little refresh, like manual refresh in the app, and when I see that banner come down, if I hit the manual refresh, sometimes it'll immediately change it to the offer that came down in the drop down. But sometimes I even have to hit it a second time. By the second time, it always will refresh to the correct now thing. But my point is, it literally, not only does it not do you any good, you actually get a bigger jump start by getting the drop down banner. The drop down banner comes the second it comes in. So it's like, okay, hit it. It takes you right to it. So I'm with Josh. Get that crap out of my site. The YouTube thing has been that way for a long time. Basically, 2 uploads. I don't know. Prioritize. I don't know. Is that 2 girls, 1 cup blood soda? I don't know. But yeah, Chris, I don't know why you don't like the new app. Uh, I do. I do. Yesterday, I will tell you. I'll show you guys because I like being transparent with you guys. I did have one come through, and it was this. Okay, so if you look at this, you guys, this is weird. So I saw the drop down come down. It had an amount. I saw the amount. It told me how far I was from it, like every drop down amount. But when I clicked it, it took me to this unidentified, 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 and then payout $ capital N little a capital N pickup ETA less than 5 minutes, but it shows the entire globe. not. Usually that's just the map that shows you A and B, your pickup drop off. Pickup time now, stops 1 NAN miles, no item details, total dollar NAN. And it said, and it literally said claim delivery. Mhm. By the time I saw the drop down, I was like, I'll look at that one. It wasn't like, oh, I gotta grab it. I was like, I'll look at that one. I hit it. It took me to this. I'm like, I couldn't remember what the drop down was. I'm like, so it's gonna pay me NAN. But this is gone now. I have not, or at least I have not seen another one of them since. I saw one yesterday that I literally pulled down, let it refresh, and it stayed that way. And then I saw another one come through and it did it, but what as soon as it pulled it up, it did it, and then, like, 2 seconds later, it populated that screen without me doing anything to what the offer was, so there was just some little delay. Today, everything's been back to full speed. It's just the way it looks now different, and that I don't mind at all. I don't mind this. I think it's actually, it's pretty straightforward stuff. You're $50, um, $50 for, I'm 24 minutes away from the pickup. This is one from today. Denver to Denver. I'm 24 minutes away from the pickup. Uh, and the and I need to drive 8.6 miles. $50. $50, you guys. But it's very clean. I don't know. I'm trying to see what maybe you don't like about it. Like, here's another one. So, yeah, I mean, just like me again, like you got to know Denver for this map to really go, okay, that's awesome. That's very clean. That's very easy to do. But this is very clean. I mean, it takes up the whole screen. You can scroll down a little more, and if you see, this is a screenshot. If you can see, it says notes, and then there's the claim delivery. But if you keep scrolling, if there's notes, there's notes. And then one of the ones I took today, when you got it, and I will say this, it does the whatever's going on with the algo now is great because it doesn't do there's basically no processing. This if you get one of the ones that counts down, that means you're a Curri Pro and you have that countdown time to take it. Even after that, you can take it, but you're put into the round robin of the algorithm. But like when I was in the algorithms this morning, here is why I do like the new app. I told you one little stupid flaw that seems to be gone, but why I do like it is when I claim one. This was not a timer one where normally it would be mine immediately. But when I do like one, it goes immediately, you got it. Remember how I've always told you guys, hey, when you click accept, or I want this offer. An offer comes through, you click I want this. I've told you guys all the time. The yellow banner will come up as soon as you click it, and it'll say it's been taken. And it says you've been noted as a backup, which is the same thing as if you went into one and hit I'm interested on the previous version. So my point there is that I love that they're not, because I always told you guys when the yellow banner comes up, if you hit I want it and you're like, oh, somebody else got it. I've always said leave your app open for 1 minute because it can take 10 seconds, but I have seen it on my phone in right downtown too, take up to 50 seconds kind of thing, where it says somebody else got it. And normally a lot of people I know would close the app. Here's the problem. Almost every time, like I've told you guys, I would wait. Like if you wait that 1 minute, it's 90 to 95% of the time it's you that got it when that claimed thing comes up. It's just that somehow comes up first and it wasn't telling you got it. Now today, even in the round robin ones, look, there's a Curri that just came in on the banner as we're doing this. um but so yeah, I mean, the fact that it's like I want it and it's like it's yours, and it wasn't like a claimable countdown one. It was one open to the public. I was like, okay, that's awesome. I love that. Let me see. Hey, Giggity, what's up? Getting notifications. Don't forget your meeting. Yeah, okay. I appreciate that. So you guys, next week, Metrobi. I gotta get one in. I gotta get one in, man. I'm gonna need to check with Brian If you guys might not know Brian by that name, or you might think of UDM if I say Brian. But I'm actually talking about he's had a couple handles, but currently it's Have It Your Way. He's been on the last mile before with me. Brian lives in Pittsburgh or just outside of it and does amazingly well on Curry. Like me, he does very well in Curry. He does some other last mile apps too, like me, but he gets some really good Curry offers as well. But I'll have to ask him too. Because he might have done some Metrobi. I actually have no idea, but I need to find if anybody in this chat today is on Metrobi, because it's here in Denver now. And when we did the interview with Metrobi, they told us the order of cities they'd launch in. And a lot of times we get a little skeptical, like, let's see, because they were in Boston. They're like, and then we're going to go here, 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 here. Okay, let's see that happen. When we had them on, they were only in Boston. Then they were like, we're going to be in New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, and then something else, and then Dallas, and then Denver, and we'll be in Denver by July. They launched in Denver July 1st. This company couldn't have been more on top of it. They literally, I'm always the person being a little, let's see if you really can make that happen. Obviously, they had something in the works because they did it. I was amazed. But so Justin saying I'm active on Metrobi, and so far I've only seen one order. Yeah, but they're brand new, Justin, here. So they are. I mean, we're still even though they've been. I mean, when I say brand new, they've been around for a couple weeks. Um, but yeah, it's all of these apps. It's got to build first, guys. And the Carnifage. So that person is in Vegas. For those of you that don't know, a lot of you have probably seen that person around. I took a Pair of Works offer yesterday. Not exactly a great offer, but I was in the area at the time of the offer. See, another thing like Curri, you guys, if you're looking at these Pair of Works offers, take them. Take them. Look, I know a lot of you are. I can't tell you how many. Before we get out of here, I got to say this because I can't tell you how many times people have said to me, "I would have taken it. It actually looked pretty damn good, but it was on the absolute other side of town. There was no way I was going to do that." It's kind of like Curri, guys. I mean, if you get on Curri now in Denver, you'll see a lot of orders. You're coming in at a different time. 2 years ago, it was exactly like what the Carnifage is explaining about Pair of Works. And I was like, oh, like I was all the time fighting for these offers, but I I was trying to fight for the ones near me, but I started just going, I got to just get something. I don't even care where it is. And so I just started going for all of them. And once I got one or two, then I started seeing more. And this was even when they were starting. So I think this has been their way all along. This is the way it should be. Reward good drivers and don't punish bad drivers, but just don't send them all the best offers and don't, you know, look, guys, if you're unassigning orders, you're lucky on Curri to not be deactivated after doing it once. And I'm going to give you a tip here. If you're like, dude, sometimes you got to unassign though. You do. But for whatever reason, you saying, I will do this scheduled delivery in the morning. And then it sends you a thing, you have a scheduled tomorrow. Yep, I know. And then if you were to go, you know what, I can't do that. And you go in that like later that night and you're like, let's say you get home at midnight and you're like, oh, you know what, I can't do that in the morning. I got to do this other thing. So you go into the Curri app and you unassign, they're going to get pissed. That's like a big no-no. And I would even say like the pictures matter a lot. Being on time matters. Being courteous and doing this like a professional matters. But I would say that unassigning is about the worst thing you can do. And we've talked about that enough times where all you guys should know these customers are paying real money and they know what they're paying for. It's not like DoorDash where it's like buried in all these fees and they really haven't. They're like, I just want food. I don't know why it's twice as much as if I go to the restaurant. It's crazy, but I want to know. It's not like that. It's almost like they're still going to be paying a lot, but Curri's going to give the drivers a lot more. And Curri lets the customer knows, yeah, you're going to be paying a lot if you want that hotshot thing run out. We can get this done for you quick with white glove service, but you got to pay for it, which to me, that's just good business. So you guys, that said, I do have another meeting. I have a meeting in 6 minutes now that I wanted to prepare for. That leaves me no time for prep. And then I have another thing I have to do in another hour. And then I have a couple more meetings, and I would like to spend some time with the Middletons as well. What's up, Dad Dash? How are you? We're just getting out of here, you guys. So was able to do my first pair of works on Saturday too. You know, Gigan and Carnifage. I don't know if you guys want to. Hey, look, another curry just came up. What's that one for? Rush delivery, Broomfield to Superior, 7 miles, $29. I'm telling you, the last. Oh, and Josh knows this too. I was trying to say this earlier. But there's been more. At least I asked Josh. He felt the same way. This week, I've seen more orders on Curry than maybe ever. Knock wood. But I mean, like it was jamming, and then it slowed for a couple weeks. Now it's like booming. I don't want to relate it to something directly, but realize something, you guys, because Rhodey's realizing it, and actually, the gig economy is going to get its first snap at unions here, and the unions know they are not in a good position, and I feel bad for the drivers in the union. But look, if things aren't fixed by what tomorrow, because tomorrow's Thursday, let's be honest, things don't get fixed on a Friday. They usually get pushed to the following week. So if by end of business tomorrow, but absolutely if by midday Friday, UPS has no solution, Monday they go on strike. Monday UPS goes on strike. That means W2 UPS drivers will not be paid until the strike is over. I have read at least 10 articles on this in different lights where it's actually some of the articles weren't even about the company itself. It was more about we're going to actually see the strength test of the W2 model because UPS has Rhodey. And Rhodey, if you guys are on Rhodey, you noticed you got an email last week that said we now have blocked deliveries like Viho. Why do you think that launched right now? I will tell you this. Obviously, every last mile looks into it. Curri has route runners. I mean, they don't have a lot of routes available usually, at least in my market, but they have route runners. But guess what? Viho does this kind of stuff. UPS owns Rhodey. Rhodey are independent contractors who are loving, bring us the work. So if they go on strike at UPS, I'm going to leave you with this question. They go on strike at UPS. Will Rhodey be able to cover the load? And if they need to outsource it a little bit, but basically cover the load while this strike's going on. I will tell you this, a lot of people's interpretations, news articles, respected reporters, people in this space think that the unions are going to get dogpiled on this one because they do think that Rhodey can sustain with some outside source help too. So they might outsource to Viho or to Metrobi or to look. I feel bad for all the W2 UPS drivers because this again is my point. I'm not opposed to unions. I believe they can help you with some medical stuff, and I believe in some spaces they're good. I don't believe they belong in the gig economy space. UPS is not the gig economy space. But however, what are we going to see here? Potentially, maybe a strike, maybe not. Hopefully not. I don't want to see anybody be out of their job. But like I mentioned just the other day, how many of us can afford to go without pay for 1, 2, 4, 6, 7 weeks? And how many of you are going to hold a picket sign? I don't know about you, but I couldn't go 5 weeks without pay. I mean, not a chance. I would need to go get other work. So I'm not going to be I'm not a scab, but I'm not going to be protesting. I would just, to be honest, guys, I would just quit because I don't like jobs where if you're working for somebody who's trying to treat you that badly in a W2 position. Now, if you want to say that's what DoorDash does to us, yeah, different scenario and a whole different conversation. But I'm going to leave you with that. If this strike happens with Rhodey, which as far as with UPS, as far as I know, it looks like it's gonna. So I'm gonna leave you with that. Do you think Rhodey can handle the weight for a couple weeks? And if so, do these UPS drivers go, man, I need to go find another job? I don't know when this strike will end. Till next week, guys, or tomorrow. You guys, the roundtable for tomorrow. I'm not gonna say anything. We're gonna have to see what happens. But next week on Last Mile, Metrobi, second week of September, first visit to the Rideshare Rodeo, Last Mile, the CEO of Bungie. And I got a lot of questions for him. I haven't had Bungie offers. I'm on the platform. I'm activated. Some questions. But you guys have a great afternoon. Hope to see you on August 5th. And if you can't make it, you can catch the live stream here and on some other channels. And we will be announcing all of that next week. I just got to get through all this other stuff. But my other meeting is now started. I got to go. We're out of here. Have a great week. Be safe. Earn smart. I'll talk to you later. Peace.